Okay, I have to admit that that was a thing that actually happened, but it was 100% your mother's fault.
This is the Greg Cote Show with Greg Cote.
Pardon it.
Here's your host, Greg Cote.
I have water in my hand, by the way, so you can't yell at me. This is a preemptive strike.
I actually won't be yelling at you anymore. I don't know if you heard what happened to me on Friday at the Le Batard show.
No.
It was a humbling moment. You would love it. You and Yeti would love it. Yeti's
What
not
happened?
here. Because you guys are always telling me that the comments say that I'm too mean to you, and I dismiss you because I'm like, I don't see that many of them. So, and I know what our download numbers are, so I play the math of that. But we ended up, I don't remember how we ended up there, but on Friday we ended up asking ChatGPT if somebody was nice or something. I don't remember how we got there, but long story short, we ended up where I was like, put Dan in. So we asked Dan, it was like, is Dan Le Batard nice? And ChatGPT goes in because like this thing is so smart. It's like, Dan Le Batard is thought of as a contrarian broadcaster. Yeah. He's, and he sometimes has different opinions, like, it accurately described, at least what the thought is of Dan out there. So we ended up going around and we were like, do Greg Cote. And granted, you'll be happy to know, like, not happy, but like Izzy Gutierrez, I believe, didn't come up. They were like, we don't know. Amin Al Hassan, they were like, we're not sure. Stugatz came up and it was like this guy known for his hot takes, his clown persona, stuff like that. But for you, it was basically like, witty columnist, funny guy. But his co-host Chris is such a jerk to him.
What?
Like, I'm telling you, in the chat GPT, I almost want to go grab the audio so the audience can hear it and Yeti can like drop it in here of Jeremy reading on the show what the chat GPT was, because it was just absurd where it was just like describing you accurately. And then for no reason at the very end, just like, but his co-host, Chris Cote, is a real jerk to him, and everyone agrees he should be nicer.
Greg Cote's niceness seems to be a point of discussion, with reviews highlighting his humor and star status, while some also express frustration with his co-host Chris's behavior. Some listeners appreciate... I swear to God it says it. Some listeners appreciate the show's dynamic and find Greg hilarious, while others find Chris's constant complaints or excessive talking to be detrimental to the show's overall enjoyment.
Wow.
Overall, Greg seems to be well regarded for his comedic talent, but his show's dynamic, particularly the role of his co-host, is subject to mixed
That's
opinions.
such a win for you because it doesn't even mention the Dan Le Batard show. It's just the Greg Cote show.
Is Greg Cote nice? Gets Chris ripped by Google AI.
I did not see that coming.
Wow.
It was something like so like ridiculously like towards me. And then they typed me in and I don't even exist in ChatGPT. It's like I only exist, which is fair. I'm not saying, nepotism, like I should only exist in your ChatGPT. Like,
that is funny.
But it was just it was a very humbling moment where I'm like, because this is the internet. ChatGPT doesn't lie. Like if it's saying that, that means there must be enough comments where a quick search of Greg Cote and it comes up how mean I am to you. So,
wow,
point heard, ChatGPT. I am never has an effort because I know I've said this before and I just don't do it. I'm changing. I'm gonna be nicer to you.
Okay. All right.
I want to make it so a year from now, if we type in "is Greg Cote likable," something else comes up on ChatGPT.
Okay. I think I've heard that before, that you're going to be nicer to me, but I'm going to, I give second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth chances. So.
Never been ChatGPT though. It's always just been like you guys claiming that there's a couple comments.
Okay. So let me get this straight. Now that artificial intelligence is telling you, you believe it.
Because artificial intelligence is getting it from the internet. So it must be as popular as you say.
Okay. I think one of the things that should help you appreciate me a little bit more is something that you learned, and I can talk about this because we're going to drop Monday after the wedding, after Michael's wedding. Your young bro and my son, the great Michael Cote, host of Greg Doesn't Know Movies, getting married Saturday, and you wrote the best man speech.
I did. I have not delivered it yet. I mean, we're not at the wedding yet, but yes, I have.
I know, but we're coming out after the wedding, so I'm sort of speaking past tense a little bit. And
Yeah,
we're
but
going to have more.
Dad, but we're gonna have stuff from the wedding, so we can talk about before, and then
Okay.
like let's do this in order. You don't have to try to trick the audience.
Okay, that's a good point. But talking about me, I think you found out in writing that best man speech that it's not as easy to be a writer as you thought it might be. Like
Excuse me. I've thought that for years, Dad. I mean, we do bits on the Levitard show where we're like spitballing, writing funny lines and stuff,
Right.
and it's not easy. Like I've always
It's
been more of
difficult.
an idea guy. Like Mike Ryan, Billy Gill, they're good at like writing lines. Where
Yeah.
I've always just been like, here's some premises we can do.
Yeah.
I'm not great.
Well,
it's tough.
it is tough, and I appreciated that you came to me as a sounding board for some of the things you'd written, and you labored over particular word phrases and words and lines, and I appreciated that. Before we move on,
The real question, since we're previewing it, and I haven't done it yet, and at some point in this episode, I can I'm probably will address how I did, but
yeah,
I am nervous on like whether I'm going to print a piece of paper out. Do I want to go phone? Like the way I'm practicing it around the house is on my laptop with the letters like big, so I'm like just really trying to get to know it.
yes,
So I know it like front and back, and I really know when I get to a certain point, I can just like riff on that paragraph.
right.
As opposed
Well,
to like
it was funny at the rehearsal dinner because two people spoke. I spoke, and one of Tati's good friends named Kelsey spoke.
I said this on the Levitard show. I revealed what you did. It was funny.
It was great because she used the small iPhone, and of course, I used a piece of paper. That where I typed and so
I said on the Levitard show that you pulled out a scroll.
Okay, that's good. That's a funny word.
Yeah,
you're learning. But yeah, you'll do great. I thought what you wrote was great, and that kind of thing. Before we move on, when you mentioned something about the Levitard show, it made me want to ask.
Levitard show.
You're right. I'm combining Levitard and the little known vegetable called chard, Levitard. Did anyone notice on the Levitard show Thursday when I threw my headset and became very angry for about 2 segments? Like nobody said anything about that? Nobody noticed?
No. What were you mad about?
It was when Levitard did one of those stupid things where he's making fun of something I say, and he says, that added nothing, and then they play that little jingle that goes, Greg Cote's being sent to the penalty box for adding nothing.
Right. Well,
you don't remember that?
That's not a Greg Cote sounder. That's anyone can get a penalty box. Like,
okay,
that's not just for you. Yes.
Okay, I was furious when that happened.
What did you say to do it? I forget. What was like?
Okay, first of all, if you roll back the tape, I literally threw my headset onto the ground. I can't even remember what the conversation was about, but I said something perfectly legitimate, and Levitard, for whatever reason, it was totally unwarranted. He accused it of being saying nothing, and it really pissed me off. I thought it was disrespectful. I was fuming in the penalty box, and when I came back, I was angry for a couple of segments.
Is that one of those things where you were like pouting and you wanted someone to notice you were, but no one did?
I was shocked no one noticed because Levitard's a pretty good read of human nature, and Levitard knows when I'm really pissed off.
Me too.
And I was, but he didn't say anything.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. I swear, like I also can kind of tell when you're steaming, and I didn't. I mean, maybe you weren't actually steaming.
I was. Trust me. I wouldn't be bringing it up right now on my show if a couple of days later I wasn't still a little bit
like you could just
off.
I know you like to rub the sticks together every once in a while to get a little like ooh, Greg Cote, is he feuding with the show?
No, I'm serious.
Are you serious? Ooh, Dad, are you thinking about not maybe doing this week? Greg Cote headline: Greg Cote might not do Levitard show this week.
Okay. I'm genuinely upset about it.
I mean, you're smiling. You're literally smiling as you say that.
Okay, but
we're on YouTube now.
I know.
People are looking at you. You're like this. You're like, I am so upset about it.
I know.
I'm telling you. Man, one of my favorite parts as we're previewing this wedding that we're going to this weekend, last night was the rehearsal dinner. We're doing the rehearsal. We're like practicing walking in and all that stuff. And, we practice where we stand. They do the little, all right, then we'll do the ceremony. Now we'll walk out. And now it's walkout time. All right, bride, groom, you guys go first. Okay, then the bridesmaids, you guys go arm in arm.
Right.
With the groomsmen, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, all right, now like the people like you, the parents of the groom and you walk out together. But because obviously it's not serious. We're doing this for fake. So it doesn't matter. Everyone's kind of taking it half-assed. But just the visual, because you and mom, I don't know what you were arguing about, but like at the moment when you and mom should be walking down the aisle celebrating your son just getting married, you and mom are like legit bickering at each other.
Okay, I'll tell you exactly what happened.
So it's literally like, but the visual, because I'm already at the outside of the room. Like, picture me, like, I already did my walkout. I'm looking back. I'm like, oh, this is what my parents are going to look like doing it. And you guys are like, I see like a muted, like, well, you blow it out your ass. Like, you basically guys are like, you know, doing one of those where you're flailing your arms. Like, what the hell did I do? I didn't do it. You did it.
Okay, I was flailing my arms. I did not say blow it out your ass. It was one of those things where you interlock.
Yeah,
arms,
you walk down like a couple, like
yeah.
You know,
and so I'm out there with my arm, and she's not interlocking it because why? Because she's leaning in and yucking it up with somebody while she should be practicing this.
Oh wow, yes. So it was mom not practicing.
It was totally mom. It's totally your mother.
Your reaction, her reaction to you was like, "Oh, blow it out your ass!" Like so. I'm telling you, I was laughing out loud at the visual of here's the parents of the groom, and they're just like, "Oh God," you could just see like bickering.
Okay, I have to admit that was a thing that actually happened, but it was 100% your mother's fault.
Let's not do that on the big show.
Why?
No, I'm saying. Oh, you're gonna do it down the aisle when you're. I'm saying like when it's when this is the real thing.
Oh right, okay, yeah, on the big show. Okay, I didn't know what you meant. Like on Levitard, what are we walking down the aisle on the Levitard show? No, we're gonna. You know, I mean, I'll be there. Why? Because I practiced it. It's your mother that has to rise to the occasion. By the way, speaking of last week's show, even though I don't know that we were speaking about it,
why are you winded?
Because I've been talking a lot and I'm excited. This is a big time for our family.
I'm sorry, internet. Was that mean? Asking my dad if he was winded? I'm sorry. I don't want I'm sorry, ChatGPT, for that. I apologize for that joke.
AI decides everything now, so ChatGPT will decide whether or not that qualified as being mean to me. But I want to mention that, and this is the God's truth, I am looking out my front window right now, and there are 2 bobcats in my yard.
Shut up.
Can you believe that?
No, they're not.
There are 2 bobcats in my yard.
No, they're not.
I took a picture of them. Luckily, they're not the animal. They're the construction vehicle. Because why? Because my driveway has been thrown asunder.
You finally repaved your driveway?
Everything is happening right now. It's in the process of being repaved. All of the asphalt is out. A bunch of rocks are there. You know, there's a crew out in front of my house. It's being done. The timing is not right, as we mentioned on the pod last week when you weren't on it, but it is finally being done as we speak. So
that's
I'm
awesome.
excited about that.
You've needed that for a while.
Oh, well, it was a birthday. It was a Christmas gift to your mother, and finally, months later,
the weekend of Michael's wedding.
Yes, the weekend of my bad timing, but the city of Plantation, where we may or may not live, the city in which I live, not necessarily named Plantation, is very slow with permits and everything. They're notorious.
That's why you ask for forgiveness, not permission.
That's a good point. That's a good point. But you know, you hire a legit construction company and they do the whole permit thing. By the way, when we come out on Monday, it's Cinco de Mayo. But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Just like the United States wants to rename the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America, for this year only, I plan to rename the Gulf, I plan to rename Cinco de Mayo as Cinco de Michael in honor of our boy's wedding. How about that? Isn't that exciting?
I just want to let you know very nicely and in a happy tone that was a bad joke.
Okay. So
ChatGPT, don't be upset because, you know, it was just a bad joke, but nicely.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I want to do a couple of sports eulogies real quick. The first eulogy I want to do, and I want to get your
Miami Heat, RIP. The Miami Heat, RIP.
Yeah, I want to do a eulogy on the Heat. The way the season went, mostly the way it ended, and I'm curious what you think they need to do this offseason, because I've written about it. I think people know that I think they need to make some huge moves and consider nobody on the roster untouchable. What do you think?
Like, I'm gonna sit on the fence on this in that, yes, of course. Like, I'm not I'm not on the team of Jeremy Taché where it's like Bam and Tyler are like really close and they just need another kind of good guy to get like, I think this team needs a lot. I do think that Bam and Tyler are nice players. So, I don't think the sky is falling. I think it was a really bad year because of the Jimmy stuff. Terry Rozier, who they're spending a lot of money on, just fell off the face of the earth in terms of production. I think that I'm willing to make a move if it's the right move. Like, I trust Riley. I kind of am tired of Heat fans. The national media, look, it's that time of year. There is a ton of sports going on, but the national media is going to do the Riley should leave thing. But the media, I don't care about the local media. The Heat fans should have Pat Riley's back. Like, he has earned the right to go out on his terms. Yes, have the last 2 seasons kind of sucked? Yeah. Have we been in the play-in a lot recently? Yeah, but I have the perspective of this entire 25 years that I've been a Heat fan, so I'm not going to turn my back on Pat Riley. Yes, it kind of stinks right now. This is as bad as it's been in many years, probably since the Hassan Whiteside days, but I'm I don't get the thing of like Heat fans needing to be the first one to kick Riley out the door.
Right.
Like,
I agree.
Like shit's bad right now. Tyler and Bam are nice players, but not enough. And if you can move them to get a star, do it.
Okay, I need to pause because one of the Bobcats is at my door. Hang on.
I hate that joke that he keeps making that it's actual Bobcats. And because, hey, I'm gonna talk to the podcast for a second here. I actually thought that there were, because we live out west in Broward, and there's Everglades out there, and there are panthers and wildlife and coyotes. So it is. I've seen Facebook groups that say, "Hey, look, I saw a coyote, a wolf." Like, I know some of you people who live up north, maybe this is a normal thing to live around animals like that, but it's a new thing for me. So when he said he had 2 Bobcats out on his front yard, I just kind of believed him. I was like, we've gotten there, we've arrived, but that scares the shit out of me. Like, one of my biggest fears in life, I'm sure everyone would have this fear, is you kind of just walk out of your front door, you think you're going to your car, and you see a Bobcat standing right there, or a panther. They tell me that these coyotes won't attack, that they're going to be afraid of me. Just know I'll be afraid too. Am I supposed to do the bear thing for the Bobcats or the coyotes? Like, I don't know.
What are you doing?
I'm entertaining the audience.
Doing a podcast?
I'm entertaining the audience.
Okay.
Yeah. I was telling them about my real fear of like walking out my front door and seeing a panther or a coyote. So like when you said there's a Bobcat outside, that's like a fear of mine living out west where I do. So like every time I go in my backyard, I'm always like, panther, Bobcat.
Oh, for sure.
I don't even know if we have Bobcats around here. I know we have panthers and coyotes.
We definitely have coyotes, small coyotes, and I've seen one in my neighborhood.
That's why, like, I've always, like, people up north and in the wilderness, they're used to, like, hey, there could be bears around here. I'm not used to that. Yeah. So this is like, so you triggered something with me when you said you had a Bobcat outside.
Oh, I'm telling you. Yeah, I agree with you. I was stunned to see an actual small wildcat, or not a wildcat, but a coyote in my neighborhood, because at first you're like, is that a
Wait,
big,
you've seen one?
Dog?
You've seen one?
Yeah. I saw a coyote in my neighborhood late at night rooting around some garbage.
Late at night? That's terrifying.
Yeah, I know. And it looks like a dog, but
you were driving?
No, I was in my house. It was like 2 houses down on the opposite side of the street. And it looks like a dog, but like a really skinny dog.
So so they won't because they kind of say coyotes aren't going to attack humans unless it's like a kid or something.
They will attack a stray cat. Like if you have a small cat that's loose,
or dog, I think
a small dog they would. Like Jumpin' Charlie is gonna a coyote's not going to attack my 85-pound dog.
Right.
But if you have a little poodle or something, that's.
I mean, it makes me feel better that they're not going to go after humans, but I just don't like it. I don't like that the wildlife is coming to us. And I probably sound like a weakling to all you up northern people who are used to the wilderness. We don't do the wilderness down here. We do ocean, Where's and canals where I know about alligators, I know about sharks.
Right.
I don't with big cats and coyotes.
We should ask McGill about the infiltration of wild animals into suburban areas because it is a thing, and I don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
What am I going to do with a coyote? Capture them, put them on a leash. I mean, what am I supposed to do?
Pop them, like eat them.
Coyote meat, probably somewhere in the world, somebody's eating a coyote right now.
Really?
Yeah, skinning a coyote, eating it. They don't have ivory, so you can't poach it. But people kill animals, unfortunately, for all different kind of reasons. When I went to the door there for an emergency call, we were talking about the heat, and I would finish up by saying, the way this season ended with a record-setting, humiliating playoff elimination, I think the Heat need to go after Giannis. I think they got to swing big.
I mean, yeah. Do you think that they don't think that?
Well, I think they don't think that they're going to give up too much for him. And my opinion is,
I don't think they think that anymore. Dad, you don't think that you don't think that they've cracked a little in their belief of this core with like. If Tyler wasn't on the table before, you don't think Tyler's on the table now?
Yeah, this offseason is going to tell. It's going to answer your question.
And that answer will be yes.
Okay, I was in the room with Eric Spoelstra the night they got eliminated with a fourth straight humiliating loss.
Bona fides.
And what's that?
Bona fides. You're like, I was in the room.
Well, I was. And
as opposed to if I was listening live on YouTube, am I lesser?
Yeah, because you're not there to see the sweat trickling off his face. No, he didn't sweat. But it was sort of weird because I expected Spoelstra to be totally down in the dumps and, just seeing no silver lining at that very moment. But he was accentuating the positive.
I mean, it's he's at a press conference. Like, I love how you're like, if you caught him at a bar by himself and he's like, he's actually in a good mood. That's like, yes, he's going to put on a presentable, like as if Spo would ever just show up to like the press conference, like, guys, we stink, guys. This is not like just a dad. Come on, like what press conference are you envisioning where a coach is honest on his like a coach is always going to
no, that's not true. No, that's not true. I've been around many coaches. Jimmy Johnson always comes to mind because he was brutally honest. He wore his heart on his face, not just his sleeve. And after a loss like that, Jimmy Johnson's going to be saying, "I'm embarrassed."
Oh no, well, Spo did do that. Wait a minute, you didn't hear Spo after that final game?
He said some of the right things.
What do you mean? He was like, "This is embarrassing." He's like, "These last two games, humbling."
No, I get it. Like I heard that.
But like, I thought you were longing for like him to be brutally honest about like we don't have enough.
No
kind of thing.
No, they're never going to get specific about personnel right in that moment. But you're bordering on Chat GPT being mad at you again because you're not allowing me to finish my point. Oh. What the point I was going to make is that Spo spent most of that press conference accentuating the positive, by which I mean he was talking about the fight, the team not caving in after Jimmy left, after all that drama, after the 10-game losing streak. And he's also accentuating the fact that they have some nice young pieces. Kel'el Ware foremost among them, and how Jovic played pretty well and gave the team a lift.
They also have peaches as well if you're hungry. Not just pieces.
I don't get that.
You said they have some nice peaches. And I'm saying like that they probably do at the arena.
Oh, I thought I said pieces.
No, you even like reset it. You like heard yourself stumble. You're like they have some real nice pieces.
Okay, peach, the first fruit ever eaten by a man on the moon. Speaking of which, okay, I've made my point about the Heat, and I want to give one more eulogy real quick to Inter Miami's shot at winning the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Man, did they get humiliated by Vancouver, losing 2 games by a combined 6-1 score. For the first time, Lionel Messi and that team looked old and slow and just got run over and run around and run through by a younger, faster team. And for the first time in his 2 full seasons here, I'm thinking Inter Miami's not going to win an MLS Cup with Lionel Messi leading the team. I've never thought that before this past week.
I just have more of like a bold take, like a broad take, not bold, a broad take of just this Messi experience and being down here for it. It just feels like we're just not there yet with soccer. I know that there are the diehards, the Witties, the Mike Ryans, who might be like, I know like worldwide, I know it's popular. I'm not questioning its popularity. I'm just saying in America, we have Messi down here. And it's just like the Panthers' first round to me just feels bigger. Like, and I was a season ticket holder. Like, so I feel like I'm a nice average Inter Miami fan. I'm not a diehard. I'm not someone who says soccer's boring. I respect soccer. I got into it when we first got them, but it's just like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just speaking for me, but like even on Sports Center, like Messi being in the CONCACAF, it's like not, I don't ever. It's like it's in the C slot. Like they don't lead with it, and it's just why isn't he's the biggest star in the world? Like why is this not a bigger deal? Like I was messaging with Mark Hochman, and he was during I think the game 5 of Tampa, Lightning Panthers game 5 where they clinched. Mark Hochman was at that CONCACAF game that they lost. And I was messaging him joking, like, can't believe you're missing game 5 for this. And he's just like, this is a CONCACAF. He was making the argument that this is a semifinal. That's a first round where they're up. Yeah. Like, this is actually a bigger deal. And I'm just like, I get it that you can say that like technically, but it's not a bigger deal.
No, it isn't a bigger deal. And to your point, even with Messi, Inter Miami, what are they not? They're not the Dolphins. They're not the Panthers. They're not football. They're not the Heat.
They're they're like with the Marlins.
Yeah, I was going to say you can make an argument they're temporarily bigger than the Marlins.
But I would argue, and maybe I'm going to get pushback on this. If we're a front running team, if the Marlins like got a Messi of baseball, and we became a first place team, that place would get filled and get excited.
Hell yes.
Like the Marlins fans that have died will be there if we like pull a really great team out of our ass.
Oh, can you imagine if they spend enough money to be in play for a guy like Juan Soto? That makes all the difference in the world. Right. People come out, they start winning, but we don't have an owner like that, and so it's the lowest payroll, and they stink. That's
Should we get to the wedding? I feel like we should just. I feel like
we've had a nice I want to do so that we're not interrupted in our wedding talk when we reconvene Sunday. I want to do dad jokes, 3 facts, Jack, and Herb top 20 countdown.
Okay.
We are not doing gripes of wrath for 2 reasons. Number 1, it's wedding weekend, and I am so ebullient with joy. I have no gripery in my mind. And number 2, I felt like I also said a gripe when I was complaining about the new trend of upside down lettering on ball caps. So no gripe of wrath this week.
Wasn't that on Le Batard show?
It was.
So what does that have to do with why does that meet the quota for a gripe this week?
Well, because officially there's no gripe of wrath this week.
I thought you were going to be like no gripe of wrath because we're recording on Friday. Like, no. You were just going to like make up a rule of like today's not.
No, I don't feel gripey because I'm full of joy.
I got it.
Because of the wedding.
You're ebullient. I got it.
Exactly. Dad jokes.
He's always kind of thinking that his puns are in vogue. He cracks himself up like an egg with a yolk. And now Chris's morale is broke. Dad jokes.
Did you hear about the 2 horses? Oh, speaking of the first bit, Dad.
Did you just? It sounded like you just neighed in the middle of that. Did you sound the new horses?
I know. The first dad joke is about a horse, so I want to mention real quick. I forgot about this. This is exciting news. My buddy Clark and I are in.
Comley's not going to get put out.
Well, Comley is still with us.
Thank you.
But fading fast.
Oh boy!
And so Clark and I are in the process of investing in another racehorse. This is super exciting. It's a 2-year-old Argentine filly named Isla Grande.
Oh my God, terrible.
And well, I don't love the name, but the big appeal is that the price is right and she's being brought to Florida, which means we finally get to see one of our racehorses run in person at Gulfstream.
Nice.
So that's going to be a big deal.
Isla is Spanish for penis. So it's Grande, Isla Grande. So it's
I like it.
Penis
but
Grande.
Yet it's a filly. It's a female horse.
No, I'm kidding. It's not.
Okay.
That's not what Isla means.
I
but-
know it means island, right, or isle.
Oh, does it? Yeah.
I think so. But parenthetically, the price I'm paying, or maybe going to be paying for this horse, includes a 10% tariff, thanks to Donald Trump. So this is the first time that I personally will have ever been affected by the tariff. Okay, on to brighter things. Dad jokes. Number 3. Did you hear about the 2 horses that fell in love?
Like you're asking me if yes or no? No, I didn't.
No, you're supposed to fill in the punchline. Did you hear about the 2 horses that fell in love? I'm not looking for a yes or a no. I'm looking for a punchline.
Well, usually you're asking me a question. Like
I
that's,
know.
and I'm supposed to answer it. Like,
Okay, but that is a question. Did you hear about the 2 horses that fell in love?
And then I say no, and then you say the punchline.
Okay. No. Right?
No, I didn't.
They're in a stable relationship.
See, if I wasn't so annoyed with the way that was presented, I would have
Right.
maybe got that.
Okay, number 2. How many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh?
10 tickles.
Yes, tentacles. Very nice. I didn't think you'd get that.
Well, I did.
That brought a smile to my face. Number
It looked
1.
like you're actually smiling when you said that.
I am. Number 1.
I am.
What happens when a frog's car dies?
I mean, hold on. If it's definitely something with ribbit. Like, just give me a second.
Okay.
Say it again.
What happens when a frog's car dies?
Hold on. Oh, it jumps or it gets a jump.
No, but that's not a bad answer.
What? It leaps. Oh, damn it.
He has to have it towed.
I mean, a frog is not a toad.
It's close enough. Come on. He has to have it towed. That's funny. People think of a frog and a toad.
You just said, what happens when a toad's car dies?
He has to have it frogged. Okay.
That's just
3
like-
facts, Jack.
It's a good joke. Good joke.
There are 3 things that interest him, so sit right back for 3 facts, Jack.
Three facts, Jack.
What? Three facts, Jack.
Number 3. The human body has 206 bones.
Everyone knows that.
Do they?
I mean, I did.
You didn't. If I had said how many bones are in the human body, what would you have said? You
I would
said
have
15.
I would have said
probably.
like 206.
Okay. Number 2. Switzerland is renowned for its chocolate, but the country that invented chocolate is Mexico.
I think it's known for its cheese.
Swiss cheese?
I'm not very often like at a restaurant where I order Swiss burger. I mean, a Swiss
Right.
chocolate.
Well, Swiss chocolate, believe me, they have the premium chocolate. No offense to Mexico, the Gulf of America. Number 1.
The Gulf of Michael.
That's right. Number 1. The only Disney film with a main character who does not speak
I got it.
is.
I
Go
got
ahead.
it. Relax.
Go. What is it?
Hold on. Let me think.
Okay.
I know this is a fact, but I'm turning this into a trivia. You're saying there's one Disney movie where a main character?
The only Disney film with a main character who does not speak.
I don't know if it's considered a main character.
I'll tell you whether
I'm
the
gonna
answer
say.
is right
I'm
or
gonna
not.
say. Is it Sven? Like the in Frozen, the donkey or like the
No.
like the horse.
Zzz. No.
What?
Dumbo.
Fun.
Yeah. Herb, top 20 countdown.
The Greg Cote Show with Greg Cote presents Greg Cote's Top 20 Herbs. Here's Greg Cote with your Herb of the Week.
I regret making you recite these every time.
I know, but now we have to because it's getting good. It's getting close. To
What
the
number
top
are we
10.
on?
We are on number 11. Quick review. Number 20, Acmella oleracea, the toothache plant. Number 19, Hall of Fame cornerback, Herb Adderley. Number 18, non-irradiated bay leaves. Number 17, 30th U.S. President, Herb Hoover. Number 16, 1960s movie about a VW race car, Herb the Love Bug. Number 15, jazz pianist, keyboardist, and composer, Herb Hancock. Number 14, Aaron Rodgers' fave, the hallucinogen, ayahuasca. Number 13, 60s and 70s TV actor Herb Edelman. Number 12, the king of herbs, basil. And number 11, dramatic pause. He fell asleep at the wheel and died in a single car accident at age 66 in 2003. But oh, he had his moment. His team won the 1980 Olympic gold and en route stunned the Soviet Union to inspire the movie Miracle on Ice. It's coaching miracle Herb Brooks.
Do you believe in miracles?
There you go. Our man Al Michaels giving homage to the late great Herb Brooks, number 11.
Herb Brooks. Did you just burp there? Herb Brooks.
I did. Herb Brad. Okay, where were we? We out of here?
Let's get to the wedding.
Yeah, let's get to the wedding. But in case this should be the end of the podcast for this episode, I want to thank you all as always for coming along on our joyride. And hope you enjoyed this episode, particularly snippets from our latest family wedding, and probably the last, quite frankly, because we only have 2 sons, and now they're both married. How
Hopefully,
about that?
hopefully the last.
Hopefully the last.
What would you say the betting
guarantee-
odds on us 3 men having another wedding? Or mom? No, you got to put mom in there because you and mom could just split up, and then like mom could get married. So it's
That's
like
true.
there's you 2, me, Michael. Like, what would be the betting odds? I think, I've been married the longest, so I think I might be you and mom just have to be the favorites to never get married. I mean, divorced.
Oh, of course. Right.
So
Yeah.
I would be the favorite to get remarried. I think Michael would be the next that and then you and mom would be the long shots.
Okay.
And then
But-
I think you would be the longest of the shot. I think mom, if she got divorced, I actually think mom has more of a chance of getting remarried than Michael. So I think I'm first. I think then mom, because if mom gets divorced with you, she's gonna get swooped right up. Like she's got a lot of dough.
Yeah.
You'll get a lot of dough too. You're gonna get half, so don't worry.
Yeah. So you see me not even being warm. I'm still warm in the ground when your mother's getting remarried.
Oh no! Oh, you have this because of death. I'm thinking you guys just get divorced.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So after 40 plus years of marriage, you see us getting divorced. Actually, it does happen, and I'm surprised every time I hear it.
Yeah.
That it does happen. Hey, nice career, Popovich, Greg Popovich.
What are you
you deserve a statue.
He's not gone.
Well, he's retiring.
Greg Popovich deserves one, but Dwayne Wade doesn't. Like, what math are we doing here?
I didn't say Dwayne Wade doesn't. I said he's borderline. Popovich does. He's an all-time great.
That Todd Helton thing, huh? That wasn't great.
No, that's just ridiculous. That's totally absurd. Don Staley, totally absurd. Dwayne Wade deserves a statue, but deserved a better statue that didn't even look like him.
I didn't say Don Staley. I said Todd Helton.
What about him?
I just said that Todd Helton thing wasn't very that was a rough look for you.
You don't mean Todd Helton. You mean Joe Mauer.
Wow. I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
I was like shaming you. I'm like, you dummy. I didn't say that. I said something else wrong.
Boy, this show has really gone off the rails toward the very end.
We've petered out. Let's go to a break.
It really did.
Let's get to the wedding. Maybe even cut this part out.
Yeah, that kind of thing. All right, see y'all. Bye-bye.
We're not leaving. We'll be back in a second.
Yeah, okay.
Here we are.
Here we are on
Wedding day.
Yeah.
I feel like we're looking all right. Looking pretty good.
A couple of guys with boutonnieres cutting it up.
Talk to the people.
Okay.
Where are you at right now? We're right before the wedding.
All right, not so much with the close-ups. We're at Weston Hills Country Club, a Tony upscale thing, golf course. Country
Tony?
Club. Tony means, upscale, like fancy. In just south of Miami. And I know, your mother's already mentioned that I'm drinking brown already. She's nervous. It's a celebration. You know what? We're here for your younger brother.
You look great.
And my youngest son's wedding. And It's a wonderful thing. You look great too. We both fly in the boutonniere here, which always sounds like a nautical phrase, like a pirate vibe to it. Boutonniere, you know. What am I thinking of? What's a pirate word that sounds like boutonniere? What am I thinking of?
Booty?
I don't know.
Pirate's booty?
Anyway, what do you think about your younger brother finally getting married?
I'm very excited. We just saw his bride. She looks amazing.
Wonderful.
We're gonna have a great night. I'm a little nervous about my speech. We'll see how it goes.
Yep.
Feel prepared. Let's have a good time. Let's get this guy married.
Let's do it. I feel like somebody may record your best man speech.
I mean, there's paid camera people here.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And me.
All right, Dad, this is like us jumping into the middle of our wedding coverage here. We look great. We look fantastic. I honestly, other than my hairline, I look immaculate. You look fantastic. And now it's speech time.
Chris, wait, Chris. Say what you will about your hairline, but you actually, like when you clean up, you look taller, you carry yourself with this different confidence. It's hilarious. I've noticed it every time we've been out.
Me in a suit, I'm telling you, like it was. I have to admit, I impressed myself a little bit.
Yes,
it made me feel like I should dress like an adult more often.
I'm telling you what, there is something about wearing a really nice looking suit.
Greg Cote, because in a wedding, usually when the dancing starts, the jackets start coming off and the ties get loosened. I had to take my dad's jacket off with like 20 minutes left in the wedding. Yep. The man was just crushing it on the dance floor, full jacket on the entire night.
That's cool. No, Greg's suit picture blew up once we posted online. And what's funny though is, everyone said you look great, Greg. But the number one thing, there was only maybe 2 mentions of no deck shoes. Like those aren't deck shoes.
Yeah.
The rest were about your bottom button. And Greg, if I were there with you,
No, he didn't. I wish that we had done that better. He did. That was expressed to him right away, that you only go top button on the jacket. Like he was not walking around all day like that. That picture was at the hotel before we left. We fixed that before he left.
Okay.
Because I was like, I just had this conversation with my 11-year-old son like a week ago. You don't button the bottom button.
Yeah. Okay. No, that we fixed that. That was a faux pas in the picture. But all right, so we're starting the wedding here. What you're about to hear are parts of my speech, parts of my mom's speech. We're obviously going to leave out some of the real personal stuff. There has to be a line. And so enjoy the comedic timings of Chris Cote and Erlene Cote.
You nervous? Good evening. They say the best man's speech is supposed to last as long as the groom does in bed. So enjoy dinner, everybody. I'm Chris, Michael's older brother, also known as the funnier one. The one who talks at a normal volume. And the one that actually shows up to bowling on Wednesdays. Yeah. Bowling team knows. Yeah. Honestly, what a fantastic wedding. Tati, you look fantastic. All the bridesmaids, you guys look amazing. Michael definitely hates wearing a suit. I still can't believe Michael and my mom broke into a dance routine. I did not have that on my business card. But don't let that fool you. This guy does not want all this attention tonight. So please keep an eye on him tonight. Michael might be the first groom to Irish goodbye his own wedding. Before I get into the sentimental part of the speech, I just want to share a couple stories about Michael that are slightly humorous, but I think show who he is as a person. The first one is, I used to play on a baseball team. I believe Alex was on this baseball team right there. When we were I was 12, this would make Michael 8. And all the parents would be at a restaurant after our baseball games, inside drinking and eating, and all the kids would be out front just causing chaos. And the 12-year-olds, me and my teammates, convinced Michael to throw a tennis ball at cars driving by in the parking lot. And oh yeah, the life lesson there. Loyalty. He's very loyal. If I tell him to do something, he sticks by his brother. Another time on a cruise ship, we were on a cruise, and Michael somehow ended up in a costume prop closet, and he emerged with a Shrek mascot head. And all of a sudden, we have security. We have Michael Cote to security, and that was not his proudest moment, but. Oh yeah, lesson. He was brave. That was very brave to do something so stupid. The final story I have is me and Michael one time, probably 13 years old. He's probably 8 or whatever, 9. Shut up, Mom. And I'm thirsty. He's thirsty. He's going to the kitchen. He comes back. I'm like, give me some water. He hands me a cup. And it's Vienna sausage juice instead of canned Vienna sausage. Do you remember that, Frank? Do you remember doing that? Yeah, I didn't forget that. The life lesson there is he's an asshole. So, now we've learned about Michael here. He's a loyal, brave asshole. Honestly though, what an emotional day, right? Just super cool. Even the cakes and tears. Alright, I'm gonna that's the last bad joke. Yeah! I had to say that one. Michael, my heart is so filled with joy today getting to be by your side on this day. I'm so proud of how far you've come and the man you've become. Seeing you with our family and Tati's family these last few days, it just all feels right. And I could not be happier for you guys. And I love you. Now,
let me just say that the main reason that I think we got was there was two main reasons. One of which was I knew that the people who really knew me would never think I would do it. And they love that so much. I'm happy I could give that to all of you. And the second is that this guy actually really wanted to do that. And the last time he really wanted to do anything with me, I think we went to like an aquarium when he was 6. So the fact that he wanted to do it and we did it and he laughed when we practiced, especially when we practiced, he laughed. But just so we know, just y'all know, I'm the one that did it perfect today and so I did it. I'm just going to say a couple things because Mark's the mayor of the show, and he's going to get up and talk the main thing, but we wanted to just say a couple things on behalf of Parent Talk. And I did want to, and actually Christopher kind of stole some of my ammunition by talking about Tati, because let's face it, we just all want to talk about Tati a lot. But she's like so perfect that we can't even believe how lucky we all are to have her in our lives. We're just so happy to be here. We're so happy that Michael found someone that he doesn't deserve. But we should all be so lucky, right? We should all be so lucky to have someone like that. That, you know, because Michael has a lot of pretty interesting things about him. He is hilarious. And one thing I will say about Michael is he is wonderful to talk to. So I think that they found each other and we're all very happy about that. And I'll let Mark talk now.
Honestly, a fantastic wedding. We wish we could show more, but because of all the commercial music playing throughout the entire wedding, every piece of content we created had so much commercial music on it that it would have got us in trouble. So that's all you get. I'm glad my speech is over. It was a stress in my life for like 3 straight weeks. And I think it went well. I think Mom did well. It was a great night.
you know, a lot of times at the end of a wedding, you kind of assess it with the group of people that you've been to a bunch of weddings with. And last night was a good one. They're not all good. Sometimes weddings are just kind of what they are. Yeah. But last night, the vibes were strong and it was a great wedding. Super happy for Michael. Tati looked amazing. Just a great night. Yeah, it was terrific. Christopher, I thought you crushed it. I really, and I know you totally obsessed about your best man speech for Michael. I thought you did really, really well, even though you didn't use a couple of funny lines that I fed you. My dad wanted me to make fun of my brother's feet because, one of the funny things about my brother is, in my entire life, I think I've seen his feet 3 times. Like, the man hides his feet. No, he does. And he does. And Michael, it's a sensitive topic for Michael, so he didn't want that to. And my dad thought I should have pushed through. No, the line I particularly liked that I thought you should have used was, I don't want to say Michael doesn't ever show his feet, but this guy gets a pedicure with socks on. See that? Not bad. It's a Greg Cote bad joke. Like, okay, I like it. I think that's better than a dad joke, quite frankly. I think it's a good line. But even without that, you had a beautiful mix of funny and sincere. I thought your mother crushed it as well. I thought her speech on behalf of us, because I had spoken at the rehearsal dinner, so your mom spoke at the main wedding. I thought she was great, and it was terrific. You know, if I'm going to nitpick, the chicken was overcooked. Quite frankly. I thought this wedding, you know what you want to do at a wedding? You don't want to linger on all the dance and the cake cutting and the speeches. You want to get boom, bing, bang, bang, get the people on the dance floor as quick as possible. And I think that's what this wedding did so well. I would say all of that stuff, the food, the dinner, the speeches was like an hour tops. Yeah. You know, sometimes that stuff can linger for like an hour and a half and all of a sudden you're like, wow, we only have an hour to dance. Like, yeah. I thought that was this wedding. Like, you know, I probably had the longest speech and it was like probably 6 or 7 minutes. 7.5 minutes, I think. No, it was great though. It didn't seem that long because it was so good. Yeah. I love watching Erlene work a crowd. Like Greg gets in front of crowds of people or whatever at Moss events or any Le Batard event, and he does well with it. Greg was just a champion in Vegas, especially. That was like the peak of Greg Cote performance. Yeah. But Erlene, she's a natural, man. She knows how to work a crowd. She's used to being she's a trial lawyer. Right, so in front of a jury and working the jury. But I was joking with my dad the night before, giving my mom shit because she turns into a stand-up comedian up there. She's not just standing up there giving a speech. She's walking around the room. She's pointing at people. Yeah. And this isn't this might end up on some of our socials, but she can dance. I loved watching her dance with Michael. That was great. Yeah. It was. And to see her play along with it too. That might have been the first time I've ever seen my mom dance. But the video you posted of Greg dancing too, that was great. You did your classic bird thing. I'm glad you threw that in there. That was perfect. You know what? The cocktails may have played a small role in this, but I feel like I danced more at Michael's wedding than I've ever danced in my life. My dad was about 3 old fashions deep before we even got to the wedding. So, well, it's a special occasion. What can I tell you? That kind of thing, and so forth and so on. So how do you feel, Greg, now that you've given your final son away? You know what? I feel great. I'm so happy for both of them. We love Tati, and I'm not just saying that. It's something I feel. We think she's such a sweet person. I think she's good for Michael. I think he, she just adores him, and I think it's a great match. And the wedding went well. I mean, I couldn't be happier. My heart is full of joy right now. I'm very happy for my whole family, for all of our friends who were there and flew in, and for the Capote family. Of course, I had to find out if there's any distant relation to Truman Capote of In Cold Blood, and there is not, to my knowledge, or theirs. But anyway, so he didn't marry a person with famous lineage, but nevertheless, we're very happy with Tatiana, and it's just great. I thought everything went well. Beautiful evening. Thrilled with it all, other than the chicken.
were there any weird show interactions, like any show fans that are, kind of on the fringes of their family that, hit you up or anything?
A couple of people on Tati's side, on our side, obviously everybody knows who I am and what I do. On Tati's side, there were a couple of older people who, and this is unusual because most of those kind of situations are, hey, I love you on the Le Batard show. There were a couple of older people on her side who just said that they've been reading me for years and they, the Herald and blah, blah, blah. So that was sort of unusual. How about you, Christopher? Anybody?
No, I mean, I've met a lot of the people on her family like before, so it wasn't like I had no one from like that. Yeah, no.
Yeah. No, it was the whole evening. I thought was just perfect. The flowers were great. I mean, it was the floral arrangements were absolutely stunning.
We're getting into mundane territory here, but it was a great night.
Okay, yes. Let's just wrap it up. It was a great night.
The flowers were great. What'd you think of the chairs, Dad, that we sat on during the?
I never noticed them.
Yeah,
they didn't collapse under my ass. That's the only way I judge a chair. So it was very good.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, and so we say adieu. We're glad you all came along. Feel as if you were at the wedding and didn't even have to give a gift. So
we have to send Field Yates that clip because I did end up going with the opener that he suggested.
Yes, that's true, and it was funny.
Yeah,
it got a laugh.
I groaned.
I honestly felt. I think there were a few groans on the bride's side of the family, but that's how we roll here.
I only groaned because Field had mentioned on the show. If I didn't listen to edit that episode, I would have never been the wiser. So.
Right, like that's why. Like I know that is kind of hacky to go with his suggestion, but no. Like I don't feel like it's as viral as he thought. Like most people are hearing that for the first time.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. But it killed though. It was good. All right. We're out of here. Right?
Yep.
Okay.
See ya. Death, taxes, and Greg sounding parched at the end of an episode.
Good point. I can't deny that.
Let's go, Panthers. Beat those leaves. Is it leaves or leafs always? Are they leaves when there are a lot of them?
That's a good question. It should be the Toronto Maple Leaves because it's plural, but
I made them the leaves. It's the Leafs. Sorry. I know. Sorry, Canada. Don't mean to offend you, but I want to end you. Didn't mean to offend you. Want to end you.
There you go. I like it.